Hey ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Got a quick review here in the port, of the new campaign ship French Tier 4 Premium Siroco. If you're familiar with World of Tanks, the premium ships are supposed to be worse than the same tier tech tree ships. First, we'll compare the Siroco to the Bourrasque. It is a Bourrasque class destroyer. All right, so survivability, the Siroco has a 200 hit point advantage. That's really not a big deal, in my opinion. And keep in mind, Siroco Tier 4, Brass Tier 3. So not a huge deal, but I think you're going to see as time goes on, there's more differences. Here's another one. The Bourrasque has a quicker reload by 1.4 seconds over the Siroco. The Siroco gets a relatively meaningless 500-meter range boost. And you're really not going to be want to shooting these French guns more than 8 kilometers. The shells tend to get floaty there. All right, torpedoes. Here's a big advantage. The Tarrasque gets or the Bourrasque gets 700 meters more range and a 2-second quicker reload, but the Siroco's torpedoes do more than 4,700 more damage per torpedo. That's a big difference right there. All right, and your first clue on how to use the Siroco. All right, I think we're going to have a real short slide. The AA is identically terrible. Big weakness of the French destroyers, they just don't have any AA to speak of. So try not to get spotted. All right, we're going to move on to maneuverability here. Really not a lot of difference here. The Siroco does have a 10 meter quicker turning circle. And something I'll have to check here, but I believe the Bourrasque and Jaguar do not have any booster flags, and the Siroco does have the common battle booster for speed. All right, concealment, minor differences. As you can see, underlined in white, the Siroco 200 meters less concealment on the surface and between 2 and 500 less after shooting a main gun when the ship is on fire, and 100 meters less when firing in smoke. So those advantages are to the Bourrasque. So all in all, I don't know if there's a lot of difference between these two ships other than the torpedo damage. Now let's look at the Jaguar. The Siroco has 4,700 less hit points than the same tier Tech Tree Destroyer. That is mind blowing. And when I saw that, I immediately thought the Siroco is going to be hard pressed to compete, but it gets worse. Look at the guns. The Jaguar has more range and a quicker reload and one more gun barrel. And take a look at these DPM numbers. There's a 30,000 plus damage per minute difference between the two ships. Oh, yeah, the Siroco does get one main battery reload booster, just one. Is that enough to close this gap? I don't think so. Okay, so you're down hit points and you're down damage to the same tier ship. All right, the Jaguar torpedoes are not faster. They do 2,400 more damage per torpedo. The Siroco has an 8-second faster reload. I think in the big scheme of things, you got to give the edge to the Jaguar again in terms of the torpedo damage. You know, that 8-second reload is nice, quicker reload is nice, but the damage is the king here. And that's going to be a big difference. All right, meaningless difference in the AA. The Jaguar has one more of these 37 millimeter guns. Whoopie doo. Again, neither of these ships have good AA values. All right, we got another big difference coming up here in the maneuverability. The Jaguar is 2.7 knots faster, although the Siroco is more agile. It has a smaller turning circle by 110 meters, and its rudder shift is 1 second faster. So in theory, the Siroco more maneuverable, Jaguar better top end. Will it be a big difference? I think it means the Siroco is better at fighting up close when you would be using that main battery reload booster. So maybe that's way you can direct your engagements. All right, real quickly, the Siroco has minuscule differences in concealment. As you can see, 100 meters better after firing the main gun, after firing the main gun from the air and when it is on a fire. So that's the differences between the Jaguar and the Siroco. I don't know what you guys think. I think it's clearly inferior to the Jaguar. I think you're going to have to pick your engagements very carefully. And I think all these things say Dartiche Dufournet, the base commander, is the guy you want to put in the Siroco because without him, without that second main battery reload booster, you're going to be hurting when it comes to destroyer on destroyer engagements. You have one, use that main battery reload booster, then you have 58,000 DPM. That's not too impressive. Thanks for watching, everybody.